Happy Monday, y'all. I hope you're having a great day. I wanted to hop on here real quick and answer a question that I get from a lot of people in my Facebook group and from my clients. And it really revolves around eating well, but living real life, right? Like, do I really need to count my calories? Do I really need to count my macros? Like, is that really necessary for me to take my fitness to the next level? And there's so many aspects of this, right? But I guess the first place to start is you really asking yourself and answering this question really, really honestly is, what is my goal? Do I want to simply be healthier and fitter and feel better and have more energy and know that I'm treating my body really well? And that's a wonderful, wonderful goal. So if that's the case, then right from the get-go, I'm going to say that no, you don't really need to know exactly what your macros are day in and day out. Should you have a kind of idea of where you need to land? Yes, but it's not necessarily as important as some of the stuff that I'm going to talk about next. If your goals are a bit more specific, and maybe you've been working out for a while and you kind of want to take things to the next level, then the reality is that you might need to be a little bit more specific about your calories and macros, right? So it's kind of all depends on where you land right now in terms of fitness and health and where you want to be, right? And part of that as well, keep in mind, is maybe you are just getting started. Maybe you do have some really specific big goals for yourself. Take it step by step, right? If you have the time and the means to go after it really, really hard, go for it, right? There's nothing holding you back. But no matter what your goal is, you have to kind of take a big picture look at where you are in life, and do you have the capacity right now, whether that's the physical capacity, the time capacity, just any aspect, all aspects really. Do you have the capacity to go for that goal? And if the answer is no, you have to be really honest, right? If the answer is no, scale it back a little bit for now, understanding that you can give it your all later, right? Okay, so pushing forward. I do believe that it is useful to track calories and macros every now and then. Do you have to track every single day? No. If you like tracking and you don't get really hung up and beat yourself up and kind of freak out about, like, did I hit my calorie goal? Did I hit, where are my carbs and fat? If it isn't more of a stressor for you and you enjoy it, like, go for it, right? That's awesome. Data is super cool. I love data. However, if it stresses you out, and this is kind of for you, if that's you, if you don't want to track every single day, I would say track a few times a week. Be really honest. Pick maybe 2 weekdays, 1 weekend day, and just put everything out there, right? Because the only person that you're pulling the wool over the eyes of, if you don't track everything, if you're not fully honest, is you, right? And that's just not fair to you. So, excuse me. Do that to kind of get an idea of where you're landing now. But in terms of just sort of everyday life and what to shoot for so that you don't have to feel like you need to track every single bite of food, there are a few things to do, and this is kind of how I do things. Yes, I will go through periods where I'll track. I just want to know where I am and kind of make sure that I'm not lying to myself, right? When I say, I eat protein, right? So that's a good place to start. One is protein. If you have fitness goals, if you want to get stronger, if you want to get leaner, if you want to run faster, if you want to be better at a sport that you love to play, protein is really, really key. And I know you hear this all over the place, but I'm telling you now again, because there's truth behind that. The protein intake is so key. It is not unreasonable for any nutrition coach or fitness coach to tell you shoot for 0.8 to 1 grams of protein per pound of ideal body weight, okay? It's a lot for a lot of people, right? If you're not used to eating that much protein, it's a lot. Hear me out. That's number one, right? Is you want that big protein goal and you want to hit that daily. So that might be the thing that you kind of keep track of daily, or at least figure out a way to know that like your serving sizes are adding up, right? So that's kind of the first step of it. The second step is focusing on whole foods. So understand that foods that are manufactured and they come in shiny bags and boxes with claims all over it, these are usually the things that we have a hard time saying no to. They are designed to keep you coming back for more, right? They are designed to leave you unsatisfied but mouth watering, and you keep coming back for more, not because it's super good for you, but it's really good for their business. They want you to keep buying it, right? So that's kind of the like anti-processed foods thing here. So if you can pair a high protein diet, focus, I should say, with whole foods based choices. And to be clear, I include in this things like Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, like those sort of like really minimally processed things, right? Canned beans, that kind of stuff. If you can pair those two things and you're always hitting your protein goal and then everything else in your diet is whole foods focused, there's almost no way that you can overeat to the point where you're going to be gaining fat, right? Because those whole foods come and they are packed with fiber, they are packed with water, but they're also packed with vitamins, minerals, all of those nutrients that your body needs to thrive, right? So those two things side by side are like number one and number 1.5, right? It kind of doesn't matter at that point where your fats and carbs come in. I have clients who love higher fat, lower carb diets. They feel better on that. I have other clients who have to have those carbs at every meal or their energy just plummets, right? So that's really a personal preference, and kind of like what you gravitate towards. But if you can hit those two key points, you're golden, okay? So yes, you might have to track a little bit to figure out how you get to that protein marker, whatever that is for you. Those two things are huge, right? And kind of a lifestyle routine piece of this puzzle that helps round all that out is don't go so long in between meals that you're starving when you come to the table to eat, right? So don't go so long in between meals that when you open the refrigerator and there's no easy grabs in there, you're just like, F it, I'm gonna choose whatever's here, right? Whatever's easiest, because let's be real, that's typically the stuff that comes in the bags and the boxes, not packed with protein typically. There's just, so don't go so long that you've reached that point where you can't take 15 minutes to pull something tasty and healthy together for yourself, okay? So those are the three things. And by the way, if you're a vegetarian and you're trying to hit these goals, this is really key for you, because it's tough for vegetarians to hit a protein goal and not watch those carbs and fats kind of fluctuate and get worried about it, right? Just because your choices typically are some sort of complex food that's not just like, you're not eating chicken, you're not eating fish, you're going for legumes, you're going for beans, you're going for nuts, right? Like your choices are gonna have carbs and fats. And so shooting for that protein goal and keeping everything else really whole, you don't have to worry about the rest of it. So those are sort of the two big things, and then that supporting factor. And yeah, I mean, if you kind of are like, I want to get healthy, I have some goals, but I don't want my life to be overrun by counting calories or counting macros, I don't have the time or the headspace for it right now, you're golden with these three things, all right?